I'd like to welcome you all to our second day action, the 4A regional tournament. Today's matchup is the two victorious teams yesterday, the Stigler Panthers and the Inola Longhorns. Winner of this game secures themselves another day of baseball. The loser has to work their way back later today. This game again today will be brought to you from Pryor, graciously allowing us to utilize their field as Inola is still dealing, much like other schools in the state of Oklahoma, some water issues. So I will be joined at some point in the booth by, once again, my fellow commentator, Jeff Unrau. He's currently en route from Jay, where our track athletes are competing in their own regional tournament. And maybe if we're lucky, and people, I can't stress enough, if we're lucky, Coach DePatrick Mullen will get on the air with us. So, bringing up our action now here in the top of the first. On the bump for the Longhorns, senior Brock Flanagan. Flanagan, stellar year thus far. Really kind of flexing his muscle on the mound. He is 8-0 right now, currently with an ERA of 1.2. Very good numbers as he sets and delivers the first pitch of the game. Misses inside for ball one. Good piece of hitting right there, taking it where it's pitched. We talked about that in the air yesterday quite a bit. Just the quality at bats by both teams, especially in that first inning. Pitchers were really trying to pound the outside of the zone. They noticed very early that was a pitch they were going to get called as a strike. So instead of trying to pull that ball, roll over it, and take it and yank it the other, to left, guys are just utilizing that outside half and just flipping that ball to right field for a nice easy base hit. Squares, hits it right up the middle. And the Longhorns pull a nice double play right there. Great play right there by Pratt and Castman. And if watching at home, not really as routine as you'd think. As he showed to square, you had Rowdy Rock sprinting up to make the play. He pulled back, ball hit up the middle. Castman was playing him to the right, which Pratt had to allow him to get to the bag to turn that double play. But strong arm right there allowed for that double play. Great play. 2 outs now as we head to the third batter in the inning. Takes for strike one. Flanagan sets and pitches, just misses outside for ball one, bringing the count to 1-1. Flanagan very deliberate and on the mound. Found immense success this season as he misses just inside right there. Longhorns looking to pick up where they left off yesterday, where they scored 14 runs. And I see the wind has shifted. It was more blowing right to left as you view, but now it is blowing more left to right. As he swings through strike and fouls that one off for strike two, bring the count to 2-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the first. Ground ball right back to the pitcher. Flanagan takes his time and flips it over to first for the third out of the inning. After 1/2 inning, scoreless at 0-0. Leading off for the Longhorns here in the bottom of the first inning, shortstop senior number 4, Connor Pratt. Pratt with a very productive day at the plate yesterday. Led off the game with a single, came around to score. Nice sacrifice fly to right later in the game, and good contact throughout. Had a nice hard ground ball to third, played by with a great play, thrown out at first, but good contact all the way through as the pitcher sets and delivers. Pratt with a nice line drive over third baseman's head, leading off this game with another single. Great piece of hitting right there, as we saw yesterday, very similar. Pratt not going to wait around. He's going to take that first pitch fastball, and he takes advantage of that strike right there. And find ourselves with a runner on first base here with no outs, bringing Brett Cornett to the plate, senior left fielder, number 11. And obviously the Longhorns really looking to kind of get the start they had yesterday as he takes ball 1 right there and an off-speed pitch. Cornett showing bunt right here, trying to advance that runner. Cornett with 2 walks yesterday, always seems to find himself on base. Excellent eye at the plate, does a great job, controls the bat well, understands the strike zone as the pitcher misses outside for ball 2, bring the count to 2-0. I know in our discussions with Coach Unruh yesterday, we talked a lot about kind of the leads being taken by the Longhorns. It did burn them once as they were picked off, but very aggressive leads. Not so much today with a lefty on the mound. It's a little bit different, and with their not a complete understanding of what the other team possesses. I know in talking with the coaches this morning, they did say if they throw their lefty, he's pretty legit. So I expect a good pitcher's outing today as both teams are throwing their one. But not really understanding does he have a good pick or not. So Pratt with a very safe lead at first base. Cornett fouls that one back for strike 2, bringing the count to 2-2. Again, big shout out to Pryor for allowing us to utilize their field and their facilities, and some of the best facilities I've had the pleasure of being in. So again, very thankful. As it misses low, great job by the catcher right there, keeping that in front of him. Again, backstop here is about as big as I've seen at a ballpark, and anything that skips past there, especially with guys with speed, much like Pratt possesses, you're not just taking one, you might be able to take 2 bases. Count full here as a pitcher delivers. Misses inside for ball 4. Again, something you see a lot of from Brett Cornett. An excellent understanding of the strike zone and does a phenomenal job of knowing strikes, balls, and taking advantage of that. You know, it may not show up with a phenomenal batting average, but the guy's always on base. He's always making things happen. And after that walk, that'll bring up senior third baseman Rowdy Rock. Rock with a great day at the plate yesterday. Nice live drive single, and then late in the game, I believe it was the 6th inning, with a great home run over the left center field fence. Pitcher misses high and outside for ball 1. Pitcher sets, checks the runners, and delivers. Fouls that one off to the right side for strike 1. I did hear that he is he's a pitcher that really likes to bust a lot of your right-handed hitters inside. He's got great movement on his fastball. Having watched his curveball, he's got great movement on that as well. So the man possesses at least 2 quality pitches, plus pitches. So it'll be a tough day at the plate for the Longhorns. Going to have to scratch as many as they can across. Fouls that one straight back for strike 2, bring the count to 1-2. Ball hit just over the outstretched glove of the second baseman. Pratt will be sent. There will be a throw cut off by the first baseman. Not in time, as Pratt will score on that single by Rock. Brett Cornett wisely takes third base on that play. That RBI single brings up fellow senior Eli Berg, number 8, center fielder. Great piece hitting there by Rowdy Rock. Found himself down the count 1-2, just gets enough to get it over the outstretched glove of the second baseman, driving in the Longhorns' first run of the game. Excellent piece of hitting right there. Now, again, a lot of speed on the base paths. Will they try to take advantage of this first-third situation and send rock? Berg takes lone away for ball one. Misses high and away for ball two, bringing the count to 2-0. Immediately following this game, two teams playing will be Perkins Tryon and the Eufaula Ironheads. The winner of that game immediately following will play the loser of this game, who will then face the winner in the championship tomorrow. Curveball comes over for strike one on the outside corner. Much like yesterday, I cannot confirm that we'll be playing here. I think in all likelihood we will be tomorrow, but there is still hope we'll be able to play this one back in Inola. But as rock goes, no throw by the catcher there as that curveball falls in the outside corner for strike two, bringing the count to 2-2. Runners now in second and third with no outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Berg with a stellar day at the plate. Two hard doubles to the left center gap, hoping to build on that great performance today. Swings through strike three right there. Excellent velocity on that fastball. After that strikeout, stepping to the plate right now is sophomore second baseman Charlie Castleman. Castleman was your winning pitcher on the bump yesterday. You get rid of that first inning. Gave up on the game. He gave up three runs. Kind of a rough start to the game, but really settled in after that. I think they say he threw about 32 pitches in the first. And following that, he came up with, I think it was a 18-pitch inning, and then back-to-back 5 pitch. Catches the outside corner right there for strike one, bringing the count to 2-1. Ground ball right up the middle. Can't quite be played by the pitcher right there. That will get through to the outfield. That base hit right there will plate two. Castleman continues his hot streak at the plate. That 2 RBI single right there ups the score to 3-0 in favor of the Longhorns. Stepping to the plate now, junior first baseman Gideon Big Cat Rogers. Castleman with a protective lead at first base. Again, have not seen a move to first, but anytime you got a pitcher on the mound, you got to play a little bit safer. And folks, you are about to get a treat as the man, the myth, the legend, Jeff Unrouse stepped into the press box. As he drops strike one over on an off-speed pitch. Really seems to be locating his curveball really well. Longhorns are just wise enough to really jump over those fastballs. And Jeff, I'd like to welcome you back to the press box.
Well, I'm good to be here. I gave you strict orders for me to walk into an 8-run lead and didn't quite do that, but looks like we're off to a good start. And
well, I think you got here too fast then.
I finally tuned in and watched the first inning. Did a great job on the broadcast, and the Horns off to a great start as Big Cat goes down on third strike. But had the pleasure of attending the regional track meet at Jay this morning, and so as the broadcast goes on, filling in a little bit on that. But had to watch one more race as Bella Riggs ran really well in the 300-meter hurdle and tied literally dead heat, 16.61 in her heat. Her and the late girl from Veneta tied, and I believe that will go as second and third and should qualify with them for the state tournament.
That's awesome.
State meet next week. So
Flanagan fouls that one off the left side, bring the count to 0-2.
So I didn't get to watch the top of the first. I mean, is Brock throwing?
Yes, Brock is throwing. He threw very well in that first inning. I mean, commanding his fastball, off speed's working great. Gave up, much like yesterday, a line drive to right field, actually the exact same.
Okay.
And then 2-hole squared to bunt, pulled back, hit a ground ball to shortstop, and we got one of pitcher's best friend, nice double play. And then got the last out on the inning on a little grounder back to Brock. And so couldn't ask for a much better start. Not a lot of pitches thrown. I mean, not Charlie Castleman 4 to 5 pitch innings, but he gets picked right there, and he does slide in safe to second.
Bang, bang play. Longhorns get the call. I give credit to the umpire for making the call that he feels, as opposed to a lot of times I feel like they punish the runner and punch him out there, but actually I think he was in safe, and so a good call. And, don't want people to underestimate this start. This is
Possible. Air Pro Heating and Cooling, serving Inola and surrounding areas since 2017. Barefoot Garage. Barefoot Garage runs an honest and reliable mechanic shop in Inola. Please call 918-202-4252 to schedule an appointment. Broadway Boutique, open 6 days a week. Shop small, shop local. The Porch, services in the Fine Arts Building, Sundays 8:30 and 10, also Wednesdays 6:30 at the Roundup Club. Love God, love people. Leading off for the Panthers here in the top of the second inning, number 31. Flanagan still on the mound for the Longhorns. Delivers a ground ball to shortstop, played by Connor Pratt, fired across the diamond for the first out of the inning. 1 pitch, 1 out. We talked about that a lot. That actually happened quite a few times yesterday. Pitchers got to love seeing that.
I talked about it a little bit yesterday. I love watching Pratt field a ground ball. Got in position, and he does a lot of the dirt work. I mean, the footwork, the hand work, the body work before the ball gets there. And as he fields the ball, he's in a great position to throw. And nice play. Routine play, but a lot of work behind the scenes on that part. Just Flanagan just pumping strikes. And much like Castleman yesterday, on the mound, on the rubber, ball ready to go. And it's just the Stigler may have to slow him down with their at-bats. Another ground ball.
Pratt will get cut off right there by Rowdy Rock. That ball's fumbled by Rogers at first on a low throw. He will reach on an error right there. That was Hodges for Stigler.
Ball short hopped Rogers and just almost able to dig it out. Just scooped and hung out there a little bit. I think Rock probably had a little more time than he thought he did. Could have set, but got a pretty true hop. It's just one of them that just snuck out of the glove. So Flane's going to have to work around the miscue and see what happens here as first pitch is low and away.
At the plate now for the Stigler Panthers is Drury.
Did you hear how the final score last night was Stigler?
I did not hear what the final score was as he fouls that one straight back for strike one.
I was here for the first couple innings, and they looked to have the score wasn't really indicative. I think it was 3 or 4-0, but looked to have a stranglehold on the game. So it wasn't a surprise when I found out they hung on to win, but never heard the final. Longhorn defense positioned about like last night, straight away, and center fielder just behind the Pryor emblem in center field is ball 2 is evened up the count 2-1.
I brought
Panthers going to try to answer the Longhorns' crooked number in the bottom of the first with a little bit of a rally here. Flanagan was able to get that first out. Now we've got a little trouble with 2-1 and only 1 out, 1 strike count to the lefty at the plate.
Flanagan all around the strike zone, though. I mean, one thing he's known for is his ability to throw strikes. Hard hit ball fouled on the right side. But as I was saying, so I kind of looked up some stats earlier, and Flanagan's sitting on the season. He's got a 1.2 ERA. He's 8-0. I mean, a lot of teams have, a 1A, a 1B. Well, we have a definitive 1, and arguably one of the better ones in Class 4A in the state.
Man, those stats that's a mouthful. Anything sub 3.5 ERA. Now
Swings through.
Is in the dirt, and Stubbs able to knock it down, and the runner is out as first base is occupied with less than 2 outs. So,
and one thing I want to stress on that is just, a lot, maybe more in the younger age, but even at any level, is both Stubbs' understanding of that. You just said it. First base is occupied. I've seen on numerous occasions where a catcher you can't tag him, so he'll throw that down to first. On an unnecessary throw, not understanding the situation, you'll see that runner take third from second.
mm-hmm.
So just the simple things like that, understanding the situation, understanding the rules in the game. And they're straining the runners on first and second right now. Is stepping to the plate is Goff.
Well, the mental part of that, and to know what you're going to do before the play, and the physical. Bo made a great play just to knock the ball,
Absolutely.
keep it in front of him, and we talk about that all the time. Flanagan's got confidence now in his catcher to knock that down, to be able to bury one in the dirt, get the swing and miss as there's a ground ball to the right side.
Fielded by Castleman.
I was afraid that was ticketed for right fielder off the bat, but Castleman got over there, and Longhorns escaped a big bullet right there. Good inning.
After 1.5, it's Longhorns 3, Panthers 0. I'd like to again pick up and thank some of our generous sponsors. Performance Physical Therapy. Performance Physical Therapy specializes in hands-on physical therapy tailored to athletes and active individuals. Their expert team combines personalized care with advanced sports rehab techniques to get you back in the game faster. Whether you're recovering from an injury or just enhancing your performance, they are here to help you move better, stronger, faster, and pain-free. Inola Funeral Home, your hometown funeral service. Speedies. Join Speedy's Fast Reward program so that you feed your hunger and satisfy your thirst while saving money. Open 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Stop on in. Leading off for the Longhorns here in the bottom of the first inning, catcher Bo Stubbs. Stubbs with a great day at the plate yesterday. Found himself on base, I believe it was 3 times. Had a nice single in the first, worked a walk as he grounds that one to the left side. Bobbled by the third baseman. He will not make that play. As, like we talk about, put the ball in play, force that defense to have to make that play. And again, we talked about it a lot last night too, was the different surface.
Mm-hmm.
The ball does different things on turf than it would on grass and dirt.
I think everybody would probably agree that goes down as an E5.
Correct.
But that's not just a standard error. That's going to take a pretty nice play, and as
Schwing will foul that bunt off on the right side.
So any time that, I think like we have our definitive number 1, I think this is definitely Stigler's definitive number 1. And I know I've been out of high school baseball for a long time, but how the game has changed where both teams kept their ace back on day 1. the philosophy used to be, as the bunt is laid down by Schwing up the right side. It's going to be really close play at first, and Schwing just beats it out.
Great play right there. We talk about it all the time, the speed he possesses, and if he's able to angle that bunt towards a baseline, that's a tough play. Tough play right there. Great job by Micah Schwing beating that bunt out. And I do have to also say, courtesy running for Bo Stubbs, Wiley Atwell.
It's a big run right there. Now you got 2-1. Top the lineup back. We talk about all the time the top of the lineup. I mean, this is just a situation where Schwing is the perfect 9-hole, and not because he's your 9th best hitter. By far, that's not the reason, but to get the things moving. And now Pratt's going to square around and takes ball up and away, and puts a little pressure on the Panther pitcher. You know, we talk all the time about how hard it is to lay down a bunt. The first thing you do is bunt a strike.
Right.
And I think Pratt had the great eye and squared around again. This time he does lay it down to the left side. Pitcher stumbles a little bit but gets up and makes a nice play. But all the way around, everything, it's a good baseball play. Both
Advance the runners, do your job.
And took a nice play by the left-handed pitcher to get over there. And
stumbled a bit, regained it, didn't try to force a throw, reset his feet. I mean, pretty smart, pretty savvy play right there.
Got to make the throw around make the turn as a lefty to throw into first base, and again, got a pretty fast runner down the line. So, but job done across the board. Now you got 2 on, 1 out. I love the situation. You got the left-handed cornet up that plate.
Curveball for strike 1.
You don't see it a whole lot, the lefty on lefty matchup.
No.
And
but every team would love to have one on the bump for them.
Yep. That curveball coming in from a lefty for Brett's a lot different than what he's normal. As he squared around early, going to lay it down as a safety squeeze. There's going to be a play at the plate. He is out at the plate. First baseman comes up with the ball and gets it home just in time to get the courtesy runner Atwell at the plate. It's kind of surprised how quick Cornett squared away.
Yeah, I mean, allowing that, we could talk a while on that one, the strategy there, maybe wait a little bit longer by squaring so early or allowing the defense to kind of start creeping up, in that case, the first baseman. But it also, as a first baseman, you got to make a good throw.
Absolutely. I mean, and credit the first baseman and to get there and the catcher to get the tag down. That throws from about 25 feet, and sometimes it's a lot harder to field that throw than it looks like.
Great job by the catcher right there, knocking that one down. And I made a comment on the first, and we talked again a lot about it yesterday, is just the immense space behind home plate. So anything that skips, I look at it, and Cornett might be standing on third if that skips back.
Absolutely.
Rock fouls that one straight back for strike 1.
Well, when you have second and third, first, second, nobody out, second, third, 1 out. Now you got runs at corner, 2 outs. This is a big at bat to get at least 1 across the board or across the plate right here. With the pitching matchup here, runs are going to be at a premium.
Oh, absolutely.
Even with a 3-run lead, each run is going to be exponentially more important than the last run. As Rock fouls that one off and going to battle with 2 strikes up here.
And we saw a lot of good at-bats yesterday. A lot of foul balls, a lot of pitches being thrown. Guys working the count up there, fouling off close pitches. As he does get picked at first right here, going to find himself in a pickle, doing his best to allow that runner to potentially score. Great job right there. There is a play at the plate. That's thrown away. Great job. Understanding by Cornett. Was caught, he was picked off, but wisely finds himself in a pickle to allow that runner to score from third. And in an even better scenario, runner's also safe at the plate. So we're able to scratch across another run.
So was he picked off or was that designed?
It's hard to tell.
I'm going to say it's designed. I'm going to say it was designed with the lefty. I think he took off and baited the lefty into the throw, and I think if he was picked off, he would have went more and try to just steal the second base, and instead I think his intent was to get in the pickle, and whatever the case may be, we're going to give Coach Holman and Brett the benefit of the doubt and say it was by design because it worked out really well. So
Worked out. I mean, they ran it to perfection.
They did, and last night faced the same situation, but was able to record the out at the plate. Put a little pressure on, and I think that's what a 3-run lead allowed you to do in the second inning is put pressure on you. And now, you saw there's been some bang-bang plays with third baseman early in the inning where it didn't make the play. The first baseman makes the play on the bunt. Well, now we have the throw that gets away from him, and with swing speed, it just all came together. So for that fourth run, and Cornette stands at second with 2 outs, and Rock at the plate. And that pitch just missed. Anytime you see the umpire follow that pitch as long as he did, he was wanting to, but just couldn't do it. So, something we haven't talked a whole lot about this year, and kind of remiss that we don't have the stats, but 2-out situations.
Mm-hmm.
How many runs can you get across with 2 outs? Offensively, it gives you such a boost, and defensively, it's just almost a backbreaker to give up 2. And this inning's a perfect situation when you get 2-1 to start off the inning, and you feel like, okay, you've got down to 2 outs, and you've recorded the out at the plate earlier. You got 2 outs, so you haven't scratched a run. Sometimes it's just human tendency to let yourself just take to relax a second, and then what happens? Bam, you get a run across. Now you've walked. You've got Berg in the driver's seat at the plate. It looks pretty comfortable here.
Had a great day. I talked about earlier. Great day at the plate yesterday.
Absolutely.
With a couple of doubles.
And I think the Longhorns seeing the ball really well. And I think the conditions are almost exactly like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Almost exactly. A little bit different direction of the wind, but bright, sunny day.
Beautiful day for baseball.
High clouds, so it's a good day.
Cornette doing his job and
Absolutely.
taking the eye of the pitcher.
Anything you can get that to divert the pitcher's attention and check that box, well done.
Swings through strike 2 right there, bringing the count to 2-2. Deuce
Nice.
is wild on the board.
Man, of the night, Berg just missed that one. It was foul tipped in the catcher's glove, but he was on it. Just barely missed it. And I don't know if that's why the catcher was called time to go out and talk to the pitcher about something. I don't think it was a missed sign, but might have to change something up with, and it could be due to the runner at second base. Cornette at second, Rock at first, Berg at the plate. Longhorns leading 4-0. Pitches up and in.
Count is full now, and that will get the runners in motion with the pitch.
Some claim the prettiest play in baseball coming up.
It's a built-in hit and run.
Mm-hmm.
Grounder back to the pitcher.
Look at there.
Throws that one away into right field. That throwing error will bring in 2. Berg will wisely take third on that play.
Better hurry.
Good stab right there by the pitcher. Not really sure if he knew the situation with the outs, as I feel he did take that look towards third first, and then just little things. Pitchers are taught when you field that ground ball, make sure you clear the rubber, get to a flat surface. Kind of forced that throw a little bit, rushed a little bit, which allows 2 more to plate for the Longhorns, bringing the score to 6-0.
You don't want to harp on it for the other team, but man, that as a left-handed pitcher, obviously you have 2 outs. The play is automatically first, no
Correct.
matter what.
Correct.
Now you multiply that because you got runners in motion. There's no chance to get a runner at second and third there. No need to even think about it. But by setting the runners in motion, I think it took the attention just for a split second, and he's thinking about lead runner. Oh, never mind, I don't have to. And now the ball is lifted into left field for the third out. And best part about those 3 runs, they were all with 2 outs.
Mm-hmm. And you just got to talk to it. It seems how you always seem to be ahead of the game and kind of, again, I call you Nostradamus for a reason. You seem to kind of predict things that are about to happen. After 2, Longhorns 6, Panthers 0. Back to some of our sponsors here. Oklahoma Farm Bureau Insurance. Please call Christy Yoder for any of your insurance needs. Life, annuities, commercial, home, and auto. Graham's, burgers and chicken. Because no great story started with salad, chicken dinner is a winner. Inola Drug, your hometown pharmacy. Jumpstart Learning Center, where playtime equals learning time. Picking up the action here in the top of the 3rd inning. Flanagan's still on the bump for the Longhorns. Great job on the mound, good composure, good tempo, everything. He's pitching the game that, he came out here, he was set to do, as he just misses outside for ball 1. And his offense is doing everything they can to make him feel even more comfortable on the mound as Kettles settles in at the plate. Hard ground ball to shortstop Connor Pratt. Plays it and fires across the diamond for the first out of the inning. Jeff spoke on it earlier, just watching Connor Pratt play a baseball. And you just talk, there's a fundamental. If Tommy Mansky was still alive and was going to do a video on how to field ground balls, I'm pretty sure he'd grab Connor Pratt and bring him on there, and Fred McGriff would be proud. That ground ball out brings Eagle to the plate with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. This is for ball 1 right there. Flanagan, much like the rest of the season, very efficient on the mound. Doesn't waste many pitches. He's going to be right around the zone. He's not afraid to pitch to contact. I think he understands the importance of pitch counts, especially in tournaments like this where you're very limited on what you can throw. Misses low on that for ball 2, bringing the count to 2-1.
There's no substitute for experience. And, not only 4 years of varsity baseball, but years and years of Little League baseball, travel ball, and Brock's got a plan. I mean, he's not thinking of what he's going to do each pitch. He knows what's the plan. He's waiting on the pitch selection from Coach Hallman, and he's ready to go. Just no substitute for that experience.
Just misses inside right there for ball 4.
You're right. That was just missed. I mean, that was competitive pitches. Every one of them are competitive pitches.
That walk right there will bring Kettles to the plate.
One on, one out. Pitch just missed as well. Just throwing outside. And again, that umpire followed that pitch in. Looks like that's Harold Meek behind the plate. Harold does a good job for us ever. Seen him
quite a bit this year.
That pitch is low and in.
Planning, I'll take a second right here. Take a deep breath.
The 6-run lead, a lot of times there's a fastball for a strike.
Kettles today thus far 0 for 1 at the plate. Center fielder for the Panthers.
With the Panthers down 6 runs, they don't have their full for lack of a better term, playbook at their arsenal. They've got to play a little closer to the vest.
Ground ball to the right side, played by Castleman. Opportunity right here to turn 2. Great job. Oh, does beat it out to first. Good speed right there. Great turn by Castleman and Pratt. Just beats him at first base, but they do record the out at second. 2 outs here, and runner still on first base.
I say it probably too much, but what so many people think is a routine play is anything but routine. And just for the fact that, Castleman can play everywhere, and it's shown that this year. But yesterday was on the mound, and so that was the first time that he's started a ground. You think his second.
Nice play by the third base coach right there.
So to get the ball fielded cleanly, get over to Pratt, and that combination, that shortstop double play combination, they've been in effect this year, but on this field today is the first time. So nice play up the middle. We talked about the importance of the defense up the middle.
This is outside for ball 1. Bring the count to 1-1.
Back to my point about the 6-run lead, it takes some of the options away from Stigler. You're certainly not going to, I wouldn't think, start the runner here with 2 outs down by 6. You need base runners. And if this is a 1 or 2 run game, they may start the running game. That ball is lifted lazily into no man's land in left field and dropped for a base hit.
That base hit by Eagle right there brings up second baseman Smith, who's 0 for 1 on the day thus far.
That's why you can talk about baseball being a cruel game. You square one up, hit it right at somebody, go have an 0 for at the plate, and you get that one that don't square it up and just lands in the middle of nowhere. Just outside of Pratt's range and too far in for Cornett in left field. But here's that 2-out situation again. You got 2 on, 2 out.
Catches the inside corner for strike 1. Time is called by catcher Bo Stubbs.
Feel like the Panther, especially this hitter, is on top of the plate, and I think that's probably why Flanagan tried to bust him inside with a nice pitch. Try to back him off a little bit. And if he's going to stay there, I bet Brock stays right where he's at. Brock's got that pinpoint accuracy and can stay there. And so if you're going to be on top of the plate, you better be able to get that bat around because you're going to be handcuffed with Flanagan on the bump.
And that's kind of the key right there is just his accuracy. I mean, you got to have kind of some guts to go in there and start throwing inside on a guy that's, standing right on top of the plate. So
he's got an open stance, so he's looking for the inside pitch, but he's going to have to get that bat head around quickly.
Hard line drive to third. That does get through for a base hit. There could be a play at the plate right here. Throw takes him up the line a little bit. 1 run will score on that line drive base hit to left field.
Credit to the Panther hitter. He did exactly what we talked about. He got the bat head out in front of it. He was expecting that pitch and got it, and Cornett made a strong throw in. That had to be cut at third, and by the time the relay, just not quick enough. And Panthers scratch across the first run and keep the same situation, first and second, 2 outs.
After that line drive RBI single brings Hodges to the plate. Ground ball to third, played by Rock, fired across the diamond for the 3rd out of the inning right there. Nice pick by Gideon Big Cat Rogers.
That's not only a big cat, that's a big catch because that was going to be a problem. If he gets away, the runner's going to be running for a while, and they're going to probably score 2 more. So nice play by Gideon to help out his teammate across the diamond.
And Panthers are able to scratch 1 across here in the top of the 3rd inning. After 2.5, it's Longhorns 6, Panthers 1. The sponsors one last time here. Da Vinci's Authentic Italian Food. Unround Meat Processing. Experience meat like never before. Sportsman's Meat Block. Quality over quantity. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you. J&J Custom Homes. J&J Custom Homes builds custom homes, shops, and garages. Tommy Dyer Real Estate. 47 years of service. Call 918-543-8822. Leading off the bottom of the third inning, man who makes the play. And you see that a lot. You make a big play, you step to the plate. Hard hit ball by Gideon Rogers right back at the middle. Great play by the pitcher right there. Not much time. That's where your body just kind of, your reactions just take over. You don't have time to think. Your body does all the work for you.
This may be a game where, of course, the Longhorns have got 3 on each inning, but I just got to feel with this guy's track record, he's going to settle in and going to shut the water off before long. And so you need to pile on as early and often as you can. And that would have been a nice start to this inning had that ball found its way to center field, but the pitcher helping himself out with a nice play.
Flanagan takes low for ball 1, looking to help his own cause here. 5-run lead for the Longhorns here in the bottom of the third inning. Really has that curveball working. Notice a lot of it. He's able to locate it on the outer half for the righties, making a tough pitch.
That's the difference in last night's curveball. Felt like last night's was kind of that, I call that cement mixer, just stands there and waits to be hit. This one looks good out of the hand. It's a good pitch for him.
This is low and away for ball 3, bring the count to 3-1.
You know, and Brock let it go the first one, even though it was a strike, but sometimes it's pays off. Now 3-1, now you don't have to worry about that. And if you get it, you just tip your hat to him and tell him nice pitch and do it again.
Does miss high and away for ball 4. Flanagan reaches first base on a 5-pitch walk.
I think we have a pinch runner or a courtesy runner in Campbell. Or is that Atwell?
Nope, that's Campbell.
Yeah.
Good speed from Campbell, sophomore. One I look forward to getting a chance to see play football next year. I know he had some knee surgery this fall. Obviously, all the way back now, healed up. A lot of fun to watch on the baseball diamond. Bright future for that young man.
Yeah, I mean, that's credit Campbell. I mean, as a sophomore and a good player, you know, it's easy to get frustrated, but you know, because on a lot of teams he would be in the top 9.
Oh, absolutely.
And but I've never seen him pout or disgruntled, and been called on several times this year, and answered the bell whenever it's his turn. You know, due to somebody else being down. But you know, and anyone that discredits the role of a courtesy runner or pinch runner, shame on you. You don't know much about baseball. That ball's lifted into left field, going to hang up for the left fielder for the second out. But the ability for Flanagan to get into the dugout and not have to be out on the base paths, and obviously it's not a weather issue, but just always nice to be able to not have to exert energy on the base paths and in this case not take a step back in baseball knowledge or speed. And so Campbell's filling a big spot right here. Swing squares around again. This one fouls off to third base. I'm waiting for the team to, every time number 2 comes up for us, just to play their third baseman about 45 feet from the plate. I'm not sure that.
Played almost like a slapper in softball.
Absolutely. I don't want to sign up for that gig if I'm the third baseman, but man, Schwing can put down the bunch with the best of them.
Put someone down the right side. Played by the pitcher. Will not get there in time. Is another great bunt by Schwing. Just finds a way, controls that bat so well. He's able to put that ball down the left side, right down the line. And it's a tough play for a lefty to have to play it, spin all the way around, and then make a strong throw. That's a lot to put together for a perfect play, and with Schwing's speed, it's just...
You have zero margin of error.
Absolutely.
And that is the thing is, you know, I know at least half the people here knew exactly what he's going to do, and I don't know if Stigler caught it, but man, after the first one, didn't phase him, puts it down the other side, and again, Stigler did nothing wrong in fielding it. It's just they had to make the perfect play, and sometimes even that's not good enough. Just credit the bunt and the speed of Schwing.
That bunt single will bring senior Connor Pratt to the plate.
2-1, and guess what? 2 outs again.
Pratt 1 for 1 on the day with the sacrifice bunt. Gets under that one just off the glove of the shortstop. Great piece of hitting right there by Pratt. Schwing catches himself a little off the bag, but does wisely advance, and good base running right here by Connor Pratt to advance as well. Great job right there by the Longhorns. Good base running, great piece of hitting. That single will drive in a run, bringing your score to 7-1 in favor of the Longhorns.
You know, I don't want to pick on a small point, but, man, think about that play. It all starts with 2 outs, but then you have swing speed at second baseman. He's kind of baiting the center fielder into it and making him make a decision to either throw behind him at second or throw ahead of him at third. And center fielder tried to get a little bit greedy and record the the third out, and played right into Swing's hand when he threw to second base. Swing was off to the races, and the throw at third never had a chance. And not only did he get to third, it got Pratt to second, and there's going to be a base hit to right field. It's probably going to score 2 runs as Pratt's coming around. There's going to be a play at the plate.
No throw is that speed right there. Great job by Brett Cornett. Nice ground ball between first and second for a 2 RBI single. That brings the score to 9-1 in favor of the Longhorns.
You know, before the pitch was made, I noticed, and I know there's no golden rule for this, but to me, I'm going to try to keep, I don't know if I'm going to worry much with the runner at second. And their second baseman was almost behind second. And it just gave I didn't understand why he was playing so far up the middle with a left-handed bat.
Mm-hmm.
And it just left that hole wide open. And
you might say, hey, play some depth here, allow for yourself some range left or right. But
again, 2 outs. And now this time to that point, he's played perfectly up the middle. But Coach Quam, for the 3rd inning in a row, that's 3 runs. Got some 2-out magic going on, so it's a good thing.
That's what you love to see. Again, after 3 full, Longhorns 9, Panthers 1. Picking up the action here in the top of the 4th inning with the Longhorns leading 9-1. Stepping to the plate. Drury, right fielder, takes strike 1.
Big swing and a miss right there.
Drury 1 for 1 on the day thus far. This is outside for ball 1.
The pitcher you love just coming out with 3 runs more than you left the field the inning before. Just more confidence and more faith in the guys, and just able to sit back and fire it in there. As this one just misses, take the count 2-1. The first of 3 big games today.
As a Longhorn fan, you couldn't be happier with this start. Panther fan obviously follows that one off the left side. Panther fans looking for a little bit of life right now, trying to find a way, scratch way back into this game. But again, followed up this game will be the elimination game between Perkins and Eufaula. All important game. Loser goes home, winner gets to play the loser of this game immediately after that.
Yep, the next 2 after this are both elimination games. That ball is sky high down the. We got 3 converging in, and Flanagan calls for it and makes a heck of a play.
Talk about Major League pop flies. That's one of them. I seem to sit up there forever.
And I think he goes against baseball.
100%. Pitcher should never play the ball.
But in that regard, Flanagan, it's pitching day, but got one of our best fielders, and so when that ball went up, he became a fielder like he was at second base or third base where he's at a lot of times, and felt right at home going over and making the play. So he took off his pitching cap for a minute and made a nice play, helped himself out. First pitch was fouled straight back for strike one.
And pitcher Williams at the plate right now. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout.
Yeah, if the Longhorns can get this one, they get to go home and sit back and watch three teams cannibalize themselves, and only one. The winner of this game will stand alone, be done for the day, and the other three will fight it out to see who has to come back and beat that team twice tomorrow. So
misses outside for ball 2, bringing the count to 2-1.
You can make a case that this is the biggest game of the whole tournament, as far as setting yourself up for
correct
for the next 48 hours.
Ball pitch gets away from him and hits the batter right there. Williams will find himself on first base. Coming up now will be left fielder Goff, 0 for 1 on the day. Courtesy runner, number 2 for the Panthers. One of the few, I'd say, mistakes you could say for Flanagan thus far today. Try to take that one a little too far inside on the left. He ends up making him eat it a little bit, but runner on first base right now, 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning.
I think Coach Mullen, who's doing a fabulous job on the scoreboard, mentioned earlier at the beginning of this pitch count was 65 to 39. Coach Mullen, is that right? And that ball's lifted into right field.
Great play by Schwing. He's got a chance for a double play. That ball gets away from him a little bit. Wisely backed up by both Stubbs. Great play right there. It's the little things. It's a great play in the outfield. Good attempt by Schwing. Got a little too much on it. But by both Stubbs backing that throw up, that runner stays at first base. Not in a scoring situation. So runner stays at first after that line drive out to right field. You talked about it earlier, you kind of just Texas League 1. You get a base hit, you hit an absolute rocket right at somebody, and it's not always fair. Flanagan catches the outside corner for strike 1.
Well, and Schwing goes for making a nice play, and he may owe Stubbs the Gatorade after the game because Stubbs saved him an throwing error, even though he made the right play. But had Stubbs not been backing up and the runner advances, then that error goes to Micah, but instead no errors assessed as the runner doesn't advance. So
Kettle's at the plate, third baseman. 0 for 1 on the day thus far. This is low and away for ball 2, bringing the count to 2-1.
I brag on Mullen, and now we're got the scoreboard wrong.
Well, I offered him a headset. He could hear what I just said at 2-1. He's pretty stubborn, so what are you going to do?
It goes to his head, I guess, and brag on him a little bit, and he just rests on his laurels, I guess.
Did not commit to that. Bring the count to 3-1. 3-1, Coach Mullen.
Speaking of Coach Mullen, I think that this is a tribute to Coach Mullen as the Longhorns donned the all-black uniform in honor of his beloved Pittsburgh Pirates.
The Fighting Livy Duns. As he coaxes a 5-pitch walk right there. Runners on first and second now with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Lineup rolls back around to lead off catcher Eagle. Time is called by Hallman. Take a moment right here to go talk it over with his pitcher. Step away from the action. after that conference again. The lineup has rolled over to the top. Catcher Eagle at the plate. 1 for 1 today thus far with a walk. Great opportunity right here for the Panthers to try to work their way back into this ball game, currently trailing 9-1. But runners on first and second. Flanagan has really controlled the tempo and controlled the game thus far on the mound. Looking to take advantage of a couple of runners on base here and scratch a couple across.
I like the visit by Coach Holman, just to, obviously not much that Brock needs to hear, but just to slow him down, just have him take a deep breath and know that he's one pitch away. He's one pitch away from getting out of this and get back to the dugout with absolutely no harm done. So not that he wasn't focused, but just getting a chance to catch his breath.
Catch outside corner right there, bring the count 0-2. And as a coach, you go out there, you have your meeting, kind of calm them down, just get them refocused, and then they come back out and pumps 2 quick strikes. I make you feel pretty good. Like, yeah, I did that.
Even though my wife's up here, I'll pick on her. She asked the other day, what does a coach say when they go out there, and how do pitchers respond to that? Well, we're getting ready to find out from Brock how he responds.
Line drive to Pratt.
There it is.
Tries to get the fourth and fifth out of the inning. That line drive out will end the top half of the fourth. And after 3.5, Longhorns 9, Panthers 1. Leading off here in the bottom of the fourth inning, senior center fielder Eli Berg. Berg 0 for 2 at the plate with a strikeout. Waits back, fouls that off-speed pitch for strike 1. Longhorns with 7 hits thus far in this game.
One pitch as he kicks and fires.
Hard ground ball to shortstop. Makes the play, fires across the diamond. Nice pick by the, first baseman doesn't pick it. Does drop that. Tough play right there for the first baseman. Berg's able to reach base on error. You give him that to first baseman or you give him that to shortstop?
I'm going to give him the shortstop.
I agree.
I played a lot more first base in my high school days than I did my shortstop, so I got to take care of the guys. I think it's a freebie whenever he steals one for you and keeps it in his glove. But
that E6 will bring sophomore Charlie Castman to the plate. Castman 1 for 2 for 2 RBI so far today. Takes ball 1 on the off speed on the outside corner. Takes high for ball 2, bring the count to 2-0. Not real aggressive leads being taken, but I see we're starting to really kind of stretch it out a little bit, try to force him to make that pick to first, just to take a look at it.
Well, and that's, I don't know if before I got here if we had, but have we tested the catcher? Do we know anything about him?
Have not. Any situation where we have stolen, there has not been a throw, either because it's first and third or, just a great jump.
And I'd say with tradition, I mean, with an 8-run lead and a lefty at the plate, even though Castleman can spray it all over the yard, I'm just a big fan of keeping that 3-4 hole open as much as you can, and right now it is open for the taking. I don't think that with the lefty, you're probably not going to be able to get as good of a jump as he's watching you, and I think you can play more mind games with him as he's looking at you rather than even if you do still second.
Castleman looking for one of those nice line drives he had last night that painted the line in right field. Hard hit ball to the left side. That will go through for a single. Nice piece of hitting right there. Taking the pitch where it's pitched, hitting it the other way, not trying to do too much with it. Can't stress that enough. That's just poetry in motion for me. I love seeing, we talk about it. Everybody like, we want home runs. We want gappers. You talked about it last night. Me, I want the great piece of hitting up there. Full count, nice pitch, outside half, probably a strike, and he just takes it the other way,
Shows how much I know. I was talking about the 3-4 hole, and Castleman says, I'll go 5-6 hole. Little Tony Gwynn-esque, taking that left-handed batter and taking it to the right side as Gideon lays down the bunt. It's going to force the pitcher to spin and fire, and that does make a nice throw. But, again, job done. Everybody's happy.
Great job by Gideon Rogers right there.
Credit the big first baseman putting it down. Gideon, I think, wants to go to the plate hacking and to put the ball down in that situation, get two people over.
I think you could argue a very unselfish ball club, and that's a prime example right there. Knowing the situation, knowing, hey, I need to move my runners over. I got a good hitter coming up behind me, Flanagan, and I want to give him an opportunity to drive in a couple of runs and help his own cause.
Yep, all with less than 2 outs.
Misses outside for ball 1. Flanagan's 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. Healthy hack at that one, following it straight back for strike 1, bringing the count to 1-1. Getting runners on second and third here with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Brock Flanagan at the plate. Swings through strike 2 right there, bringing the count to 1-2.
Brock certainly not getting cheated at the plate. Now he's got to do a job. 2 strikes. See if he can get that guy in from at least from third. Maybe choke up and put the ball in play.
Fouls that one off. Keeping the count at 1-2.
I wondered if the 9-1 8-run lead will impact either coach's decision on how far to keep their pitchers in the game. Flanagan waves and misses at strike 3. Longhorns aren't able to get that runner home yet.
Strikeout brings catcher Bo Stubbs to the plate. Stubbs 0 for 2 thus far today. Stubbs gets a hold of that one to left field.
Got him
Left
turned around.
fielder gets twisted a little bit right there. That one will get to the wall. That double will plate 2, bringing that 8-run advantage to 10 as the Longhorns plate 2, taking the score now to 11-1.
That's a lonely feeling in left field whenever you start and you twist to one to the right, twist to the left, and you just know that ball is going to get you, go over your head, and you got to turn and sprint to the wall. It's a lonely feeling. It's a big outfield out there in left field, and you're the only one out there that's.
That 2-run double will bring right fielder Micah Schwing to the plate. Schwing is 2 for 2 with 2 runs thus far today. Panthers seem to kind of understand what type of situation they're in when I take a look at the first and third baseman.
I was laughing to myself as well.
Atwell into courtesy run for Stubbs. Schwing hacks and fouls that one off to the right side.
First and third baseman are like, yeah, now you got us in, and now you're going to swing away.
Little gamesmanship out there.
And we haven't seen the end of the bat. I'm not so sure he's not going to lay down and try to get that third bunt hit of the afternoon.
Misses low and inside for ball 2. Bring the count to 2-1.
Could you imagine if Schwing could put it down like this from the left side?
Oh, be filthy. Wonder if that's not something maybe in the offseason he tries to work on a little bit, put the pitching machine on and just work on that left side.
He's a threat right now. And if he could, I know half joking, but if you could add a slap to that, or from the left side, it'd almost be.
This is low right there as Schwing coaxes a walk, rolling the lineup back over to lead off shortstop Connor Pratt. Pratt 2 for 2 today with an RBI and 2 runs. Sack bunt earlier in the game. Again, you talk about just unselfish players, and it's a laundry list on this Longhorn baseball team, but you'll love to see this.
Something that I think outside of the first at bat of the game, I think every other at bat that Pratt's had, he's had runners at first and second. Love to see the traffic on the base. And here's where the second baseman is way.
Pratt goes down and digs that one out for a line drive single. That will plate one. Another RBI single for Pratt. Third hit of the ball game. Brings the score to 12-1. Seen a common theme with the runs scored per inning for the Longhorns as that brings Cornett to the plate. Cornett's 1 for 2 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a walk today.
Now the second baseman is playing more traditional with the left-handed batter.
Cornett found the hole last time between first and second. Looked like there may have been a little miscommunication on it. I felt like the second baseman and first baseman both kind of stopped and looked at each other for that split second to say, you taking it, am I taking it, you? The old SNL skit, you, me, Night at the Roxbury, you, me, you, me.
So it's 10-1 or 12-1 ball game?
That's correct.
I want to say they're probably taking the foot off the gas a little bit. Otherwise, it's be a great position to put both runners in motion.
Swings through strike 2 right there, bringing the count to 1 and 2.
And you've got great speed on the bases, and Pratt's not, as a trail runner, not being held, but if Cornett can chase him around and keep the lineup moving.
This is high right there for ball 2. Deuce is wild here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Low for ball 3, bringing the count full. Runners will be in motion with this next pitch. Longhorns looking to tack on a couple more. Now, did you get in regional play, is the run rule off? I know we had that question last night. We were unsure. So this is low and away for ball 4.
I do not believe that it's out of play. I'm not positive, but I don't think it's out of play. I think it's 10 after 5.
Longhorns doing what they can to keep that ability alive here in the bottom of the 4th inning, leading 12-1. Roddy Rock steps to the plate. Rock so far today 1 for 2 with 2 runs, an RBI, and a walk. Fouls that one back for strike 1.
I can guarantee you Rowdy's eyes are about the size of a silver with that pitch right there. Bases loaded, got a chance. This is almost the exact situation yesterday with the game in favor, and he just squared off on one and took it to the left center over the wall.
This is high for ball 1. Wind blowing to right field today. More left field yesterday, left center yesterday.
Definitely have the Panthers and this pitcher on the ropes, and Rowdy could almost knock him out of the game. Ground ball right back to him, and weird decision, but goes to the plate for the third out. I think he understands the situation as he's kind of frustrated with himself, but gets out of it.
Longhorns plate 3, and after 4, 12-1 lead over the Panthers. Leading off here in the top of the 5th inning for the Panthers, center fielder number 3, Kettles, 0 for 2 today with a run. Flanagan misses high and away for ball 1.
It will be interesting to see if the run rule is in effect. If it's 10 after 5, then it's definitely in play right here. I'm not sure.
Hard hit ball to right center. We talked about it. That thing, man, it hits that turf and it just runs. Cut off. Will possibly have a play at third. Throw not in time as he ropes a triple to the right center gap. Good piece of hitting right there by Kettles, leading off the top of the 5th inning with a triple.
Surprised me he tried to get that. I mean, it paid off for him, but surprised that he went for that extra 90 feet. Thought he would stroll in with a stand-up double, but hustled out of the box and got 3 out of it. Which tells me if that's the case, maybe it is a 10-run rule, and these runs are more meaningful in that sense than they would be for the comeback. That ball is lifted foul out of play.
At the plate now, DH, number 16, Eagle, 1 for 2 so far today.
Has there been any mention about game times and situation tomorrow, whether it's here, whether it's back at our place?
The hope is to play it at home, but I think at this point, runner will go on that pass ball. A Charlie Castleman-like slide will get him out at the plate. Good job by Stubbs right there to cut him down for the first out of the inning.
Man, I do not understand that. I didn't understand the extra 90, and I certainly don't understand with no outs.
I like aggressive, but you talked about it earlier. Situationally, that 1 run means nothing. Well, even if you're talking run rule, that run means nothing.
And with no outs, I mean, 2 outs, I'm all for it. But no outs.
Nice hard hit off the middle, base hit.
I just think it's hard to explain the first out at home when you're down by 11. Or, again, to prolong the game, you could be saying you're down by 2 and you got to get 2 runs. But the first out at home, that's just.
Yeah. And then you follow it up with a nice line drive right
Yeah.
back up the middle. So,
Yeah,
I mean, in hindsight, it's like, well, maybe we should have, because the ball did skip away, but it wasn't very advantageous for them because it didn't skip away very
Right.
far. And Stubbs did a great job of getting after the baseball. And
They weren't able to take advantage of the deep backstop. It was barely got out of the brown turf. And
that ball is sky high up towards right field. Ball will be played by Castleman. Fortunately enough for him, force play was still on at second as he misplayed that one in right field. But an out is recorded nonetheless. That at bat right there was Smith, who is now 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI. At the plate now, first baseman number 8, Hodges, 0 for 2 at the plate.
that'll definitely be a talking point. I mean, game of baseball is weird because had there been no runner on, that would have been an error. But since he's able to record an out, it's not just goes down to the fielder's choice. But that's got to be the right fielder's ball. And I know it kept carrying, but the right fielder has to make that play and coming in as opposed to Castleman going back.
And we can't really hear with the communication that between the right fielder and second baseman on that play. But I'm with you. I think 100% of the time, it's easier to come range in and make a play than back.
Oh, absolutely.
Swings through strike 2 right there.
And
Job by Stubbs knocking it down.
And as a coach, the best way to talk about stuff like that is after a win. Sometimes it takes a loss or that would be a big play. Hopefully that doesn't – I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to come back to haunt us in that we recorded the out, but definitely a talking point because there could come a situation where if it's not called upon right by the right fielder, then that could lead to massive damage. But
good pick by Stubbs. Just pops out of his glove. Runner will advance on that ball.
I told you guys earlier we would talk a little bit about the track team and wish them good luck and congratulations. I have got word that so far we have 3 Longhorns that have qualified for the state meet next week. Bella Riggs, the 100-meter hurdles. Eli Whitney of the 110-meter hurdles, which is also a new school record. And Caleb Sims with a disc. We'll qualify in the disc, and he's recorded a new school record. When I was talking to Coach Andrews a few minutes ago at the meet, just had a really good throw. He went from like 145, I think, to 152 to beat the record. So
swings through strike 3 right there.
Very odd inning right there. Very odd inning. But most important thing is that 0 goes up, and it does, in fact, look like the run rule is in effect, as that will do it.
Great outing by Flanagan on the mound. Great job offensively for the second game in a row for the Longhorns, and we had talked, multiple times throughout the year. A lot of our games are 2-1, 1-0. I mean, not a lot of runs scored, but great contact, good bat on the ball. Great defense has been played in the game yesterday and then the game today. So Longhorns look to carry that in definitely tomorrow, where they will face unknown at this point, but either Stigler, who's going to have to fight their way back, Eufaula, or Perkins. So great job by the Longhorns. Coach Hallman, Coach Yates, Coach Pratt, and Coach McMillan have to be very pleased with what they saw today. Get the rest of the day off, get to sit back, relax, and I know there'll be 2 more games. Again, the game coming up right now will be Perkins and Eufaula. Winner of that game will face Stigler in our 3rd game today. Winner of that will then face the Longhorns tomorrow if Longhorns win tomorrow, they're moving on to state. If they lose, they still have, or to super regional. And if they lose that game, they will have one more opportunity to punch their ticket to the super regional, which is a best of 3. And that will be reseeded and everything based on who wins at each regional site. So
to put a bow on this, I think one thing is Flanagan is wondering where are all these runs at when I was pitching in regular season. He's used to having 1 or 2 or 3 run support, and I don't know that he's ever seen double digits run support. So I know that as a pitcher, Brock loved that, but obviously he answered the bell at the mound, and the lineup did the job at the plate. So, great job for that. Feels good for Brock to get that run support, the early start. I mean, the early cushion just makes everything so big. And you can't understate how big that game was, because now the Longhorns get to go home, get off their feet, relax the rest of the day. You know, there's 3 teams that have a loss, and they're like I said, they're going to cannibalize themselves right now. There's going to be there's 2 more elimination games today. So at the end of the day, when the Longhorns are done, these guys somebody's going to have to win 2 games today, just the opportunity to come back and play Inola, and then again have to beat them twice. So by Inola winning this game, they've got 2 games to win 1, as opposed to having to win 3 in a row. And so a lot of credit goes, and the coach did a great job having these guys ready. It's not easy to pick up and leave your home field to drive to Pryor to quote unquote host a regional tournament. So but mentally locked in from first pitch and square. The results speak for themselves. To score 12 runs off a guy that recorded 17 strikeouts in a 17 game speaks volumes. And what a time to be playing your best baseball. And
Absolutely.
for the last 2 days last year we got 2 and out on a combined, what was it, 1-0 and 2-1 or something like that.
Yeah, in like 8 innings or something.
Yeah, and I mean, and in 2 games today, this week, it's 26-4. So,
Yeah.
definitely in a good spot right now, but it's just tomorrow when we start all over, it's got to win a ball game, and like I said, get to the super regionals where there'll be 16 teams and they'll reseed them, and top 8 will host, and there'll be the best of 3 to go to the big dance the week after. So good spot for Longhorns and Coach Hallman and his group to be in. And apologize for missing the first inning, but if it works this well, I might do it tomorrow too.
Well, for myself or Mr. Unner, I'd like to thank you all for viewing and listening, and look forward to seeing y'all out back out on the stream tomorrow. Time is yet to be determined, but we do know our Longhorns will be playing with a shot at punching their ticket to the Super Regional. So we hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Wow.